Dorothy Draper was an American pioneer in the interior design field. She professionalized the interior design industry by opening the United States' first design firm in 1925. At the time, it was called the Architectural Clearinghouse, but she later renamed it to Dorothy Draper and Company. Draper was born November 22, 1889, into a fairly affluent family in Tuxedo Park, New York. In her youth, Draper was educated well and even attended the Brearley School, which is an all-girl private school located in Manhattan. Her family visited Europe on a yearly basis, where it's likely she drew early inspiration for her designs. At the time that Draper went into business for herself, it was considered quite bold for a woman to undertake. Nonetheless, objectively, her business was extremely successful. She specialized in creating daring and non-traditional spaces by utilizing vibrant colors and combining flashy patterns. She invented the modern Baroque style, a 20th century take on the 17th century Italian design style, characterized by the use of exaggerated movements, expressions, and gestures in order to produce a sense of drama, tension, and grandeur. Really, her work was characterized by her use of energetic colors and combinations that were revolutionary for the time. Her work could be described as anti-minimalist in nature, and it works to keep the eye moving and constantly stimulated. One of her more memorable components of her work is the black and white checkered flooring that she used in multiple different designs, and I'll speak to that a bit later on. She also had a knack for creating fabrics and furniture. Most notably would be her quintessential cabbage rose fabric print. She created this and used it in a couple of her different designs, and it's still pretty popular print today. She created spaces all over the world. She worked mostly with public spaces, but had a few notable private creations as well. The Carlyle Hotel in New York City was Dorothy Draper's big break, and it's really the design that established her in the industry. She was hired by Douglas Elliman, a real estate magnate, in 1928 to design the lobby of the Carlyle. She incorporated her signature black and white floors in different areas of the hotel, along with grand chandeliers, mirrors, and columns. She also wove satin and velvet finishings throughout the space to give kind of a softer contrast to the grand design. The Greenbrier Hotel was utilized as a hospital during World War II, actually, but after the conclusion of the war, Draper was hired to renovate the space. Dorothy used her iconic checkerboard flooring, which is pictured here, throughout the hotel, as well as other patterned carpeting and flooring. To contrast the flooring, she made use of turquoise and white vertical stripes and other vibrant paints. Common throughout all of her signs and prevalent in the Greenbrier is her use of ornate and intricately designed furniture pieces. Dorothy also took the liberty of opening up the space so that you could almost see from one end of the hotel to other, and this gave it a greater sense of scale. One of her international designs was the Quintadina Palace in Brazil. At the time, it was the largest casino hotel in South America. While the architecture of the building reflected a Norman style, the interior that Draper designed represented the popular Hollywood-like style of the time. The palace featured grand marble bathrooms, intricate crystal-studded chandeliers, and lighting utilized in the design was not only very powerful, but it also created a sense of stimulation and excitement, which was essential for the quote-unquote Brazilian capital of gambling. Draper's Arrowhead Springs Hotel in California was quoted to be called a playground and escape for the Hollywood elite in the late 1930s and during the war. So when Dorothy first came to California, she noted that she was shocked at the dullness and lack of color in the Californian homes. So this was something she really set out to revise in the Arrowhead Springs Hotel. The dining room she designed brandished a stark contrast between the white walls and jet black rugs. And to add some color to the rooms, she chose huge bouquets of the pink cabbage roses that her famous fabric was designed after. Dorothy also ensured that the employees fit the aesthetic that she had created. and so as mentioned previously, she dressed them in green uniforms with red trim and silver buttons that complemented the spaces that she had created throughout the hotel. And this isn't something unique to this particular space. It was something she really did in all of her spaces. This is the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, and it's pretty famous for its skylight, the sculpture here, and the birdcage chandeliers. It was nicknamed the Dorotheum by the owner of the museum, and it was really one of her most memorable pieces. Dorothy Draper has a few published works, one being Decorating is Fun, How to Be Your Own Decorator. Another is Entertaining is Fun, How to Be a Popular Hostess. And the third is 365 Shortcuts to Home Decorating. Dorothy Draper really leaves behind her a great legacy that has shaped the modern interior design industry by creating the very first interior design firm. She established the industry as a whole and essentially created the profession in and of itself. Designers today still emulate her design and utilize her approaches and theories. Her name has really become synonymous with luxury and grandeur and stimulating design that creates excitement. Thank you.